Hey guys, so I'm coming to you with a review on these new Revlon Colorstay cream eyeshadows. I have two here, this green shade in 735, and then I have this pinky nudie shade in 720. Alright, so these cream eyeshadows came out fairly recently, within the last month or so, and they hit drugstores. I got mine from my local Walgreens for $9.99 or $8.99. Revlon has not been the cheapest brand in the drugstore, but okay. So for just familiarity purposes, I'm going to compare these to the Maybelline Color Tattoos because they appear to be the competition to those in the drugstore. I'll talk about those really quickly and then I can give you some comparison. The Maybelline Color Tattoos came out a few years ago and they kind of just blew any cream eyeshadow from the drugstore out of the water. These are long wearing, I have a matte one here. These are long wearing cream eyeshadows that you can wear by themselves without primer as a base underneath the eyeshadow, and they perform beautifully and they last all day. I can attest to that. I love Maybelline Color Tattoos. I have about 40 of them. I love them. They come out with like limited edition sets and different things. They recently came out with some color tattoo pencils and some color tattoo like liquid eyeshadow, and I really hope they don't discontinue the pots and keep making them because I love them. Long wearing. Maybelline came out with these years ago. They came out with a leather line, which were all matte cream eyeshadows. They came out with a metal line, like metallic type of cream eyeshadows. Came out with these, swept the market. Best thing for Maybelline in a long time. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Okay, so Revlon comes out with these Colorstay cream eyeshadows. Also, the price for the Maybelline Color Tattoos are about, I've got them as cheap as $4.50 at Walmart, and they may go up to like $7 if you're in an expensive area. That's the highest I've seen them. And sometimes they show sell like the older limited edition ones in the Dollar Tree. Okay, so these again, like it was like $10. Alright, so I picked up two shades. So the packaging is very similar to the Maybelline Color Tattoo. You have this glass jar here. However, the Revlon Colorstay is a little bit taller. The top of it is a little bit taller because they give you a brush with your product. It's this flat synthetic type of brush to apply the product, which I think is really nice and really considerate, but they could have left it alone because it makes the packaging a little bit bulky and I don't like the brush. When I apply cream shadows, I do like a synthetic type flat brush like this, but I need one a little bit stiffer. This is a lot, it's not dense enough to spread like cream products for me. It's just not, so I could have done without the brush. But anyway, well, I digress. Let's go into the product. So this one here is 720. I don't know if there's a name. It may be under the thing that you lift. I never looked for it. I know they have numbers. I can identify them by that. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch this. Look at this in the jar, though. It's interesting. This color looks a lot darker than it does in the packaging. The other one I have does not, but this is what that one looks like. It's a very cool, excuse me, a very cool taupe shade, even though it looks pinky beige in the packaging. The other one is pretty true to color. This is 735 and it is a I don't want to say olive green, light green with a little bit of, has a little shimmery satin finish to it. I'm going to go ahead and show you that one. Very pretty. It's very, very pretty. Let's get down to it. I don't really like these. I am a fan of cream eyeshadow. I love things in a jar, but because something like this Color Tattoo is on the market already and it's wonderful to come out with, you know that's what you're going to get compared to, and I just don't think they live up to it considering they're more expensive, and yeah, they just don't, I don't think they, I don't think they quite do it. So for starters, the consistency is very, very thin, almost greasy feeling when you first get them out of the jar and like use your finger. If you use a brush, whatever, but I use my finger and put my base on. It's very, very thin and greasy feeling. I will say this, they do dry down. They dry down to the touch where they don't feel that greasy anymore, but it's just kind of weird. The Maybelline Color Tattoos are very, very thick, clay-like feel, and the warmth of your fingers and hands really make them emollient to spread across your lids and spread across wherever you're putting them or whatever. But with these, they come out of the jar, very, very thin, greasy feeling. I don't know. So the pigmentation is, again, it's just like barely it's like close but no cigar. It's just the pigmentation, it's there, but when you're talking, and I'm comparing them to the Maybelline Color Tattoos because that is the competition for this type of product in the drugstore. Why would you pick one over the other? And these are significantly cheaper, and that's why I'm using them to compare. On their own, again, I will tell you these same tips, but I just have something that you can relate to, you know. Okay, so the opacity is very, I don't want to beat these up too bad, but it's decent. I'm not going to lie to you. It's decent. But these are the type that I probably wouldn't wear by themselves. I did wear them by themselves with no primer to see how they lasted, and I'll give you that in a minute. But just, I think they would do decent under a shadow, to be a base under a shadow. Like especially this green, if you pack a shimmery green over top of it, which I actually use the matte one as a base. I used the green one by itself. I was just testing them all over the place. Decent. They dry down, but what am I trying to say? They dry down, and whatever shadow you put on top, it does make it a little more vibrant, but I wouldn't say it makes it last any longer. My shadow usually lasts all day, so it didn't add anything to it. It made it a little bit more vibrant, but again, I can use a color tattoo with that. That's not enough to make me want to pick those over anything else. The next thing, I wore these without primer on their own. The only shadow I actually can wear without primer is ColourPop's shadows. So I wore this first without primer on their own. Crease like hell. Crease like hell. It was just not the business. The color was still there, but it looked a mess. Okay, so then I went ahead and wore them with primer just by itself, just as a shade on the lid, on the eye, and it kind of faded. I don't know if it faded. It probably faded when I wore it without primer too, but I was just so focused on the creasing, I didn't think. But they weren't that well. They just didn't hold up well on their own as cream shadows. And you know, I'm not gonna throw them out. This matte one, the taupe one, I actually like better than the green one. It does hold its own, but also what I wanted to say, when it dries down, when you put it on as a base, it dries down. The Maybelline Color Tattoos, in my opinion, dry slightly sticky. It to a point where it's not going to make you crease, or just slightly tacky to me, where I can stick something on. But even if I didn't want to, it's just, I don't know, that I can't explain it. These dry down. It's so funny because they dry down, they don't have a tacky feel, yet they crease. I apologize if I'm not making any sense with this, but yeah, I feel like when you come out with something like this in the drugstore, it's awesome that they have shades, and I was like, well, maybe if I try a different shade. And the formula is just, yeah, I don't really like it. Now, I would go in and look at the other shades, and if there's something unique that I could use as a base, I would definitely try to work it out. I don't know if I'd purchase it, maybe if it was on sale, just something unique, because it's to find unique cream eyeshadow colors. But no, it's not something I want to get the collection for. It's not something that, yeah, if you have something like this, first off, you're late to the game. You have something that comes out like a Maybelline Color Tattoo that changed the game. And yeah, I don't know if you were working on this for that many years or whatever, but just not. They're more expensive and they're not as good. So that's it in a nutshell. I don't really know what else to tell you. Yeah, I wasn't a fan. I really like this taupey shade, this cool taupey shade, even though it looks nothing like cool taupe in the packaging. But I really do like that shade. I like that one more than the green one. The green one just didn't do it for me. But I don't know. I don't know what I just want me to tell you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about any of the products mentioned in the video, feel free to leave it down below. I love you all, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.